First contact distress. The vast emptiness of space surrounded Deep Space Monitoring Station Epsilon 7, humanity's farthest outpost from Earth. Inside, Lieutenant Commander Sarah Reeves stared at her console, her coffee growing cold as she tried to make sense of the signal patterns dancing across her screen. After 15 years in communications, she had never seen anything like this. "Director Walsh, I need you on the bridge," she called through the intercom, her voice steady despite her racing heart. Director Marcus Walsh had been about to end his shift when the call came. 6 months from retirement after 30 years of service to the United Earth Space Command, he had been looking forward to fishing on his property in Montana. Instead, he found himself staring at what could be humanity's first confirmed contact with extraterrestrial intelligence. "How long has it been transmitting?" Walsh asked, leaning over Reeves' shoulder. "Almost 30 minutes, sir. It repeats every 90 seconds. The language is unknown, but the mathematical sequence at the beginning suggests intelligent design. It's definitely not natural." Walsh studied the waveform. "And you're certain it's not one of ours, not from any of the colonies?" "Absolutely, sir. The signal originated from 40 light-years beyond the Arcturus system. We have nothing out there. Nothing human, anyway." Technical specialist Jen appeared beside them, tablet in hand. "Sir, I've run it through our xenolinguistic algorithms. The AI thinks it's a distress call." Walsh raised an eyebrow. "A distress call? From whom to whom?" "Unknown, sir, but the frequency modulation patterns match what we theorize would be universal distress indicators: rapid repetition, increasing amplitude. And there's this." Jen swiped his tablet, showing a series of electromagnetic pulses, these energy signatures in the background. "Our systems identify them as consistent with weapons discharge." The bridge fell silent. Humanity had spread through their solar system and established colonies on Mars, Europa, and even distant Titan, but they had never encountered another spacefaring civilization. The possibility that their first contact might be with a species in the midst of conflict was troubling. "Options?" Walsh asked, looking around at his team. Commander Ortega, head of tactical operations, stepped forward. "We've got the UES Dauntless 3 light days from here on its shakedown cruise. Captain Chen could divert to investigate." Walsh considered this. The Dauntless was humanity's newest battleship, designed to protect Earth's far-flung colonies from potential threats. It carried the most advanced technology humanity had developed, and a crew specially selected and trained for deep space operations. "This isn't what the Dauntless was meant for," Walsh said. "With respect, sir," Reeves interjected, "if that is a distress call and someone out there is dying while we debate, what does that say about us as a species? About humanity's place in the cosmos?" Walsh looked at the repeating signal one more time. After 30 years of watching empty skies, he would be the one to make this decision. "Contact the Dauntless. Inform Captain Chen she has new orders directly from UESD Command." Captain Maya Chen stood on the bridge of the UES Dauntless, Earth's most advanced warship, watching the stars streak by as they pushed the new fusion drives to their limit. At 34, she was the youngest captain in the fleet, chosen not just for her tactical brilliance, but for her unique physiology. Chen, like every member of her crew, was classified as an ultra-terrestrial, humans who had genetically adapted to survive in the most extreme environments Earth had to offer. Chen had grown up in the high-gravity mining colonies of the asteroid belt, giving her bone density and muscle mass that would have been impossible for ancient humans. "Captain, we're approaching the coordinates," First Officer Nessir said, breaking her reverie. "Dropping out of FTL in 30 seconds. Chen nodded. "Battle stations. Full shields. I want all sensors at maximum." The Dauntless shuddered slightly as it returned to normal space. Immediately, the tactical display lit up. "Contact." Lieutenant Kowalski reported from Tactical. "Multiple vessels detected. 2 distinct configurations. One group appears to be pursuing the other." Chen leaned forward. On screen, The main view screen activated, showing a scene of chaos. A group of sleek, silver ships were desperately evading larger, predatory-looking vessels with jagged black hulls. As they watched, one of the silver ships exploded in a brilliant flash. "Those are the energy signatures from the distress call," Communications Officer Park confirmed. "Life signs?" Chen asked. Science Officer Dr. Ilara Voss worked her console rapidly. "Both vessel types show biological readings, but distinctly different. The silver ships, Captain, their life support systems are failing. I'm reading hundreds of beings in distress." Chen didn't hesitate. "Tactical, target the lead pursuit vessel." Warning shot across their bow. Kowalski complied, and a hypersonic railgun round streaked from the Dauntless, passing just meters from the lead black ship. "No response," Kowalski reported. "They're continuing pursuit." "Wait. They're scanning us now." "Open a channel," Chen ordered. "All frequencies, universal greeting protocol." Park worked his console. "Channel open, broadcasting in all known formats including mathematical sequences." Chen stood tall. "This is Captain Maya Chen of the United Earth vessel Dauntless. We have received a distress call from this sector. Cease your aggression immediately and withdraw. We will defend those under threat." The response came not as communication, but as action. Two of the black ships broke off their pursuit and turned toward the Dauntless. "They're powering weapons," Kowalski reported, tension in his voice. Chen's expression hardened. "So that's how it's going to be. Target their propulsion systems. Fire when ready." The Dauntless's main batteries came to life, sending precisely targeted energy pulses that struck both approaching vessels. To the crew's surprise, the ship's shields buckled immediately. "Direct hits," Kowalski reported. "Their shields were inadequate against our weapons." Chen frowned. "Either they're centuries behind us technologically, or they've never encountered weapons designed by Deathworlders." Dr. Voss finished. "Earth's gravity is 1.6 times greater than the galactic average for inhabited worlds. We build everything stronger because we have to." The damaged black ships retreated, joining the others which had now broken off their pursuit of the silver vessels. "Captain," Park called out, "I'm receiving a transmission from one of the silver ships. They're attempting to communicate." "Put it through," Chen ordered. The view screen flickered, and then revealed a humanoid figure with iridescent blue skin, large eyes, and delicate features. The being looked exhausted, with visible injuries across its face. "Unknown vessel," the being spoke, its words translated through the ship's advanced AI. "I am Captain Thela of the Lumidian diplomatic fleet. We thank you for your intervention. We were not aware that Earth had achieved deep space capabilities." Chen blinked in surprise. "You know of Earth?" Thela nodded weakly. "By reputation only. Your world is classified as a Deathworld in galactic records, a planet with environmental conditions so extreme that most spacefaring species could not survive there. We did not expect to be rescued by humans. We did not know you had developed interstellar travel." Chen stepped closer to the screen. "We only recently ventured this far from our home system." "Captain Thela, who were those attacking you?" "The Krell," Thela responded, visible dread in their large eyes. "They are harvesters. They hunt species they consider weaker. Our diplomatic fleet was ambushed when we discovered them attacking an uncontacted world." As they spoke, the tactical display showed the black ships, the Krell vessels, regrouping. They were communicating among themselves, clearly reassessing the situation. "They're coming back," Kowalski warned. "All vessels on an attack vector." Chen turned to her first officer. "Nasir, prepare boarding teams. We're going to rescue as many Lumidians as we can." "Dr. Voss, work with medical to prepare for alien physiology." "Captain," Thela interrupted, "you must understand. The Krell have never been defeated. They prey on the younger races of the galaxy. Your intervention, while noble, places Earth in grave danger." Chen's lips curved into a slight smile. Captain Thela, with all due respect to your knowledge of galactic affairs, it seems the Krell have never encountered humans before. I think they're about to learn why Earth is classified as a death world. The Dauntless's engines flared to life as Chen ordered her ship directly between the Lumidian fleet and the approaching Krell vessels. Boarding shuttles prepared to launch toward the damaged Lumidian ships as the Dauntless's weapon systems came fully online. All hands, Chen announced shipwide, prepare for combat operations. Today, humanity makes its presence known to the galaxy. The first human boarding party crashed through the damaged hull of the Lumidian diplomatic vessel Starlight Envoy. Lieutenant Commander Jackson led the team, his heavy combat exosuit whirring with each movement. The gravity was noticeably lighter than Earth standard, making the 6 humans feel unnaturally strong. Remember your training, Jackson reminded his team. These aliens evolved in lower gravity. Control your strength. The corridor they entered was filled with smoke and flickering lights. Bodies of blue-skinned aliens lay scattered, some moving weakly, others still. Specialist Rivera, the team's cinemedic, immediately knelt beside one. Breathing, but barely, she reported, administering an emergency oxygen supply. Atmospherics show their air mix is similar to ours, but with higher oxygen content. They're in shock. A Lumidian officer approached cautiously, staring at the humans with a mixture of fear and awe. You came inside?" the alien asked, the translation coming through the team's helmet systems. But the radiation from the damaged engines. Jackson checked his suit readings. Minimal levels. Nothing our suits can't handle. The Lumidian's large eyes widened. "For us, it is nearly lethal. Your species can withstand such radiation. Earth has higher background radiation than most habitable worlds," Rivera explained gently. "We evolved with better cellular repair mechanisms." As they spoke, a violent explosion rocked the ship. Through a viewport, they could see the Dauntless engaging 3 Krell vessels simultaneously, its advanced point defense systems intercepting incoming fire with incredible precision. "We need to move quickly," Jackson urged. "Captain Chen can't hold them off forever." The team pushed deeper into the ship, encountering more Lumidians along with scattered resistance from Krell boarding parties. The first time the humans engaged the Krell in direct combat, the difference was shocking. The Krell were tall, insectoid creatures with natural armor and multiple limbs ending in wicked claws. They moved with terrifying speed, but in the reduced gravity of the Lumidian ship, the humans moved faster. What's more, the Krell weapons, while advanced, seemed calibrated for less resilient species. Corporal Diaz took a direct hit from a Krell energy weapon that should have incapacitated him. Instead, he staggered, steadied himself, and returned fire. The Krell chittered in what sounded like disbelief before falling to the humans' counterattack. "They're not used to their prey fighting back," Specialist Zhang observed as they secured a corridor. As the rescue operation continued, more Lumidians were evacuated to the Dauntless. Those able to speak shared the same astonishment at human physiology and technology. "Your species carries such weight," one Lumidian scientist remarked, watching the humans move. "The density of your bodies, the strength of your frames. On my world, you would be crushed by your own mass. And on our world, you would float away," Rivera answered kindly, helping the scientist toward an evacuation shuttle. In the ship's data core, Jackson discovered something crucial: star charts and communication protocols for the wider galactic community. Information that would be invaluable for humanity's first steps into an inhabited galaxy. As the last survivors were evacuated, Captain Chen's voice came through their comms. "All boarding teams, return immediately. The Krell are bringing in reinforcements. We need to withdraw." Jackson looked at his team, then at the grateful Lumidians they had rescued. Humanity's first alien contact mission, almost complete. Let's make sure it's not our last. The shuttles launched from the damaged Lumidian vessels just as the main Krell fleet arrived. a massive capital ship flanked by dozens of the black, predatory vessels they had encountered earlier. The Dauntless, even with its advanced Earth technology, could not hope to defeat such numbers. But Captain Chen had no intention of fighting them all. As soon as the shuttles were recovered, the Dauntless accelerated away at full speed, its fusion drives outpacing anything the Krell possessed. On the bridge, Chen watched the tactical display as they escaped the Krell pursuit. Beside her stood Captain Thela, still weakened but insistent on speaking with the human commander. "You have saved 743 of my people," Thela said solemnly. "The Galactic Council will hear of Earth's bravery. But, Captain, you have also made an enemy of the Krell. They will not forget this humiliation." Chen met the alien's gaze steadily. "Then let this be humanity's introduction to the galaxy, Captain Thela. We answer calls for help, we protect those who cannot protect themselves, and we do not fear bullies, no matter what planet they come from." As the Dauntless streaked toward Earth, carrying the survivors of humanity's first alien encounter, neither Captain Chen nor any of her crew could know how their actions would change the course of galactic history. Humanity had announced its presence not with diplomatic overtures or cultural exchanges, but by doing what came naturally to them, standing up against impossible odds to protect the vulnerable. The galaxy would never be the same. Deathworld Justice. The UES Dauntless hurtled through space, pushing its fusion drives beyond recommended limits. In the medical bay, Dr. Elena Voss worked tirelessly alongside her team, adapting human medical protocols for their alien refugees. The Lumidians' physiology was remarkably different, their blood copper-based rather than iron, their bones flexible rather than rigid, their organs arranged in configurations that defied human medical understanding. "They're built for a world with minimal environmental stress," Dr. Voss explained to Captain Chen during her brief visit to medical. "Lower gravity, stable climate, minimal radiation, predictable seasons. Everything that Earth isn't." Chen watched as a Lumidian child, at least she assumed it was a child, reached out with a six-fingered hand to touch her arm, eyes widening at the density of human muscle. "So the galaxy classified Earth as a death world?" Chen asked. Captain Thela, who had insisted on remaining on his feet despite injuries, nodded weakly. "Your planet's gravity alone would crush most spacefaring species. Add your intense weather patterns, tectonic activity, solar radiation levels, and biological competition." The alien shook his head. "Most galactic species evolved in much more forgiving environments." "Captain," First Officer Nasir's voice came through the comm. "The Krell fleet is still in pursuit. They've called in reinforcements from nearby systems." Chen frowned. They had rescued the Lumidians, but at what cost? The Dauntless was now leading a hostile alien force directly toward human space. "I'll be right there." As she turned to leave, Thela caught her arm. His grip was surprisingly weak, even considering his injured state. "Captain Chen, there is something you must understand about the Krell," he said urgently. "They are not just raiders. They are apex predators who evolved on a world almost as harsh as Earth. Their entire culture revolves around proving their superiority by hunting lesser species. And now they've found us," Chen said grimly. "Yes," Thela confirmed. "And they will never stop coming now that they know humans exist. Your rescue of us, a species they consider prey, is an unforgivable insult to their worldview." Chen felt the weight of this revelation. Her decision to answer a distress call had potentially endangered her entire species, yet she couldn't bring herself to regret saving lives. "Then we'll have to give them a reason to reconsider," she said, striding toward the bridge. "Status report," Chen demanded as she entered the bridge. "The Krell have committed 17 vessels to the pursuit," Kowalski reported from Tactical. "Their lead ships will intercept us before we reach the Arcturus defense perimeter." Chen studied the tactical display. The Dauntless was fast, but they were burdened with hundreds of refugees and damage from the rescue operation, and the Krell ships were closing the gap. What about the Lumidian star charts? Any tactical advantages we can leverage? Science Officer Reynolds nodded. There's an asteroid field in the Eridani sector, dense, unpredictable. The Lumidian charts mark it as a navigation hazard. Chen smiled. Plot a course. All hands, prepare for high-G maneuvers. The Dauntless altered course, accelerating toward what looked like a cloud of tumbling space rock. Behind them, the Krell fleet adjusted to follow. "Captain, are you sure about this?" Nasir asked quietly. "The Dauntless has never been tested in conditions like these." "No," Chen admitted. "But we were built for Earth's gravity well." The Krell weren't. She opened the shipwide comm. "All personnel and passengers, secure for extreme maneuvers. This will get rough." The Dauntless plunged into the asteroid field at speeds that would have been suicidal for most ships. Chen had ordered all power diverted from non-essential systems to the engines, shields, and navigational computers. The huge vessel twisted and turned through the tumbling rocks, occasionally scraping its shields against asteroids that couldn't be avoided. Behind them, the Krell fleet hesitated at the edge of the field before following, their movements noticeably more cautious. "Their ships are larger," Kowalski observed, "less maneuverable. And they're not used to pilots who grew up navigating the asteroid mining belts of Saturn," Chen added with pride in her crew. As they pushed deeper into the field, the differences became more pronounced. The Dauntless, designed by humans who had evolved to process rapid environmental changes and make split-second decisions, navigated with a precision the Krell couldn't match. One by one, the pursuing vessels either fell back or suffered catastrophic collisions with the spinning rocks. But the Krell commander was determined. 3 ships, including their massive flagship, continued the pursuit, taking a more cautious but determined path through the field. But the Krell commander was determined. 3 ships, including their massive flagship, continued the pursuit, taking a more cautious but determined path through the field. "They're still coming," Nasir reported. Chen nodded. "Good. Take us to the center of the field." The navigational officer looked startled. "Captain, the density there." "I know. Do it." As they approached the heart of the asteroid field, the rocks grew larger and more numerous. The Dauntless's shields flared constantly as debris struck them from all sides. In the medical bay, Dr. Voss and her team worked frantically to keep their patients stable during the violent maneuvers. When they reached the densest part of the field, Chen gave the order she'd been waiting for. "All stop. Cut engines to minimal power. Maintain life support and tactical only." The Dauntless drifted to a relative stop within the chaos of the spinning asteroids, its dark hull blending with the shadows of the massive rocks surrounding it. "Now we wait," Chen said quietly. It didn't take long. The 3 remaining Krell ships pushed into the dense center of the field, their sensors searching for the human vessel. They moved cautiously, clearly uncomfortable in the chaotic environment. "They're splitting up to search for us," Kowalski reported. Chen watched the tactical display with predatory focus. "Interesting strategy for a supposedly superior hunter," she mused. "Let's show them how Earth predators hunt. Target the smallest ship first. Full weapons barrage when I give the word." The bridge crew waited in tense silence as one of the Krell vessels drifted closer to their position, unaware of the danger. When it was less than 5 kilometers away, Chen gave a single nod. "Fire." The Dauntless erupted from its hiding place like an ambush predator, all weapons systems firing simultaneously at the unprepared Krell vessel. The alien ship's shields collapsed instantly under the focused barrage, and its hull ruptured in multiple places before secondary explosions tore it apart from within. "One down," Chen said calmly. "Move to intercept the second vessel." The element of surprise gone, the remaining 2 Krell ships reacted immediately. The smaller vessel attempted to flee back the way it had come, while the flagship turned to engage the Dauntless directly. "They're hailing us," Park announced from communications. "Put them through," Chen ordered. The main screen flickered to life, revealing the Krell commander. The alien was a nightmare of chitinous armor and compound eyes, its mandibles clicking in what might have been agitation or anticipation. Human vessel. The translation came through, the voice artificially modulated to human hearing range. You have interfered with a rightful culling. You shelter weaklings who deserve to be consumed. Submit now and your deaths will be swift. Chen stood from her captain's chair, facing the alien commander directly. This is Captain Maya Chen of the United Earth Space Command vessel Dauntless. We answered a distress call from a diplomatic vessel under attack. We rescued civilians from predatory aggression, and we are not intimidated by your threats. The Krell commander's mandibles clicked rapidly. Your species is unknown to us, but your actions classify you as prey. Your technology is impressive, but you lack the biological superiority of the Krell. You will be cataloged, studied, and devoured like all lesser species. Chen's expression hardened. I think you misunderstand the situation. Humans don't come from a gentle world like the Lumidians. We come from a planet that has tried to kill us every day of our evolution. We've survived ice ages, supervolcanoes, meteor impacts, and predators that would make you look like a garden insect. We didn't evolve to be prey. We evolved to be the ultimate predators of a death world. As she spoke, the tactical officer had been quietly repositioning the Dauntless, using the asteroids for cover while working into an advantageous firing position. You're not hunting us, Chen continued. We're hunting you. She cut the transmission with a gesture and immediately ordered, all weapons, fire at will. The Dauntless's main cannons tore into the second Krell vessel before it could escape the asteroid field. Unlike the complete destruction of the first ship, Shen had ordered this attack to disable rather than destroy. Their engines and weapons are offline, Kowalski reported. They're dead in space. The flagship is powering up what looks like their main weapon, Nasir warned. Energy signatures are off the charts. Chen nodded. Evade and continue firing. Focus on their weapon emplacements. The massive Krell flagship fired a beam of concentrated energy that would have cut the Dauntless in half if it had connected. But the human vessel, piloted by officers who had trained in the unpredictable gravity wells of the solar system, danced away from the attack with surprising agility for its size. The battle raged through the asteroid field, a deadly game of cat and mouse. The Krell flagship was powerful but predictable, relying on overwhelming force rather than tactical flexibility. The Dauntless, though outgunned, used the environment to its advantage, striking from hiding before retreating back into the chaos of tumbling rock. In the medical bay, the Lumidians watched in awe as sensor feeds showed them the battle. Impossible, one Lumidian official whispered. No species has ever defeated a Krell hunting pack, let alone challenged their flagship. Dr. Voss, administering treatment to a wounded Lumidian, smiled grimly. They'd never hunted humans before. The tide turned when one of the Dauntless's precision strikes hit the Krell flagship's main power conduit, causing a cascade failure through its weapon systems. The massive ship listed to one side, venting atmosphere from multiple breaches. They're defenseless, Kowalski reported, a note of satisfaction in his voice. Chen studied the tactical display. Hail them again. The Krell commander appeared on screen once more, the bridge behind him now dark except for emergency lighting. Green fluid that might have been blood seeped from a wound on its exoskeleton. This conversation has changed, hasn't it? Chen said calmly. Your hunting pack destroyed. Your flagship crippled. And we're still here, barely scratched. The alien's mandibles clicked slowly. How is this possible? Your species was unknown to us. You should be weak, like the others. As I said, we come from a death world. Earth forged us into what we are. Now you have a choice. Return to your territory and inform the Krell leadership that humans are not prey. We're not aggressors either. We responded to a distress call, nothing more. But we will defend ourselves and others if threatened again. The Krell commander was silent for a long moment. The concept of mercy is unfamiliar to the Krell. Then learn it, Chen said firmly, because the alternative is extinction, not yours. We could destroy you now, but choose not to. But if the Krell continue to hunt other species, if you come after humans or our allies again, we will respond with the full force of Earth's military. And unlike you, we don't play with our food. The transmission ended abruptly as the Krell commander cut the connection. They're powering up what's left of their engines, Nasir reported. Looks like they're withdrawing. Chen watched as the damaged Krell flagship limped away, eventually disappearing from their sensors as it left the asteroid field. Keep an eye on them, she ordered, and set course for Earth. We have refugees to deliver and a first contact situation to report. 2 weeks later, the UES Dauntless approached Earth orbit, flanked by an honor guard of 6 UESD defense vessels. In the ship's conference room, Captain Chen sat across from Captain Thela and 3 other Lumidian officials who had recovered enough to represent their people. The United Earth government has approved your request for temporary asylum, Chen informed them. Arrangements are being made to accommodate your people until diplomatic relations can be formally established with the Galactic Council. Thela bowed his head in gratitude. We cannot thank humanity enough, not just for the rescue, but for standing against the Krell. Few species would have had the courage or the capability. About that, Chen said, leaning forward, the star charts and galactic data you've provided have been enlightening. There are hundreds of spacefaring species in our sector alone, thousands throughout the known galaxy, one of the Lumidian officials confirmed. Though most evolved on what you would consider gentle worlds, Earth is unusual. Dr. Voss, who had joined the meeting to provide medical updates, couldn't help but interject. It appears that what made Earth seem uninhabitable to most galactic species is precisely what gave humans our advantages. Higher gravity led to stronger bodies. Environmental instability forced rapid adaptation. Constant threat from predators and natural disasters honed our fight-or-flight responses and made you natural warriors, Thela added with something like admiration. The Galactic Council has peacekeeping forces, but they are ceremonial compared to what I witnessed aboard this vessel. Chen frowned slightly. Humanity doesn't see itself primarily as a warrior species, Captain Thela. Yes, we've had our conflicts, but we've worked hard to move beyond them. We value exploration, diplomacy, scientific advancement. Of course, Thela interrupted gently, but you must understand what your arrival means for galactic politics. For centuries, the Krell and other predatory species have terrorized the younger races with impunity. The Council's response has always been containment rather than confrontation. He gestured toward the viewport, where Earth was now visible, a blue jewel against the blackness of space. Now emerges a species from an uncharted Deathworld, physically stronger than most, technologically advanced, and with an instinct to protect rather than dominate. You represent hope to countless worlds that have lived in fear. Chen considered this in silence. Humanity had been prepared for first contact scenarios involving peaceful exchange or potential conflict. They hadn't considered the possibility of becoming immediate defenders of weaker species in an already established galactic community. What will the Krell do now? She asked finally. They will lick their wounds, another Lumidian official answered. They will study what they learned about humans, and they will decide whether to avoid your species or to return with greater numbers. And the Galactic Council. Thela's large eyes blinked slowly. They will send representatives as soon as we establish communications. They will be cautious. Species from Deathworlds are rare and often viewed with suspicion. But your actions in rescuing us rather than conquering us will speak volumes. First Officer Nasir, who had been quiet throughout the exchange, finally spoke. So humanity's first step into galactic society will be as, what exactly? Warriors? Protectors? Diplomats? That, Thela said softly, will be for humans to decide. As the meeting concluded and arrangements were made to begin transferring the Lumidian refugees to Earth's surface, Captain Chen found herself alone on the observation deck, staring down at her home planet. For all of human history, they had wondered if they were alone in the universe. Now they knew the truth. The galaxy was teeming with life, civilizations, conflicts, and alliances. And somehow, against all odds, humanity's unique evolution on their beautiful but harsh world had prepared them for a role no one could have anticipated. They had answered a call for help and discovered their place among the stars. Not as conquerors, not as the conquered, but as defenders of a fragile peace in a galaxy that badly needed them. The Dauntless continued its orbit of Earth, the first human vessel to return from contact with alien life. Below, humanity prepared to welcome their first extraterrestrial visitors, unaware that news of their existence was already spreading throughout the stars. A species from a Deathworld who had challenged the Krell and won. A species who answered distress calls from strangers. A species who might change everything. Captain Chen smiled. Whatever came next, Earth would face it together, bringing their unique strength and determination to a galaxy that had never seen anything quite like them before. In the vast archives of the Galactic Council, a new entry was being prepared for immediate distribution to all member worlds. Earth. Classification upgraded from Deathworld/pre-contact to Deathworld/allied protected species. Approach with diplomatic caution. Military engagement not recommended. And in the shadowy territories controlled by the Krell, a wounded commander made his report to the conclave of hunters. For the first time in their long, bloody history, the apex predators of the galaxy faced an uncomfortable question. What happens when the hunter becomes the hunted? The answer, as humanity would demonstrate in the years to come, would rewrite the very foundations of galactic order.